Welcome everyone. This is the fortnightly SIG etcd triage meeting. My name is James. I'm an etcd maintainer. This is the fortnightly session for us to try and keep the project organized, go through PRs, issues, and we often assign out some good first issues during these sessions as well. We have a shared Google Doc that anyone who is subscribed to the etcd dev mailing list will be able to propose items in there and edit that doc. So we've got that open at the moment. We've got some PRs and issues that I selected earlier to go through. But if you have something you specifically want to discuss, we can do that too. So we'll have a look at the first item. We did actually cover this last triage meeting. We still need a review on this. So for anyone that is wanting to contribute to Kubernetes, this is a great PR to review. So long story short, Ivan and I published etcd 3.5.17 not so long ago, just recently at KubeCon in Salt Lake City, and now Kubernetes wants to update to that version of etcd. So we just need to get this PR reviewed. It's fairly straightforward. And for anyone that's interested in doing that review, they can compare to the previous PR for 3.5.16 that was obviously successful and merged. And you can leave a review and let folks know if this PR looks good to you in GitHub. So someone can take a look at that, hopefully. Moving on to the next one. Okay. So now we're on the etcd main repository, etcd.io etcd, and we've got an issue here that we need to reproduce. Last triage meeting, we requested some more information on the step-by-step for doing so, and the contributors kindly replied back with a pretty decent step-by-step on how we should be able to reproduce it. Unfortunately, it's still a little bit involved. Essentially deploying a cluster with kubespray. So it's not going to be a quick thing. It will take a little bit just to work through, but they have given like a fairly detailed walkthrough. So I just wanted to share that update. And Suran, you had a question as well around the status of the machines from the reporter, and they've given that here. Let's just jump back, refresh on the error issue. Missing metric. Interestingly, they only had 2 machines in their list here. So I'm unsure if this was a 2 or 3 node cluster when it was first deployed. But even if it was a 3 node cluster, like 2 should be quorum here.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It has a leader, so I don't know when you look at the code, it should publish the metric when the new node gets to know the leader. So
yeah. So it's an interesting one. So the call to action is so contributors, if you are keen, start from this comment and have an attempt at producing, like recreating the same issue that the person reported. So for anyone that has a little time to go through that, please give it a go and just leave a comment with whether or not you could recreate the issue. Okay. Next one is a good first issue. So thanks to Ivan for setting up the issue to get the Go update done. It looks like we've got pretty much everything raised except the changelog. So we could probably just put a gentle ping in for this contributor to raise the changelog, I think, and then we could close this out.
Okay. Yeah, I also forgot about the operator. I need to add it to my list.
It's another one for our list moving forward. Yeah. That's all good. It's done. It just needs to be merged. Okay, let's.
So also the bvault one, it's reviewed by both Ben and by me, but Ben hasn't merged it. Oh, no, it's just approved by me. All right.
Okay, yeah. So we just need a ping from bench from there. Yep. All right, so we'll see if the assignee can raise the changelog PR for. We can probably just give them a quick reference on one of the existing PRs because I think they're a brand new contributor.
If you actually, okay. Yeah. I think the quickest, sorry, it's if you go back to the issue, I reference previous pull requests or previous issues.
Okay.
So if you scroll down, so it says scroll up a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, scroll up. It says please
Here we go.
refer.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
so from there you can pick one.
Fantastic.
He's also, I think he's also missing go fail. Go fail. Is it go fail?
Oh
Or maybe
yeah,
we can just
122.10. Yeah, okay, let's just see. Let's change like PR. And also cool. All right, be nice to get that one closed off. All right, next steps. Okay, this one I want to have a bit of a chat about. We've had this tracking issue open for a little bit around our migration from GitHub Actions to Prow, Kubernetes Prow, and adopting the functionality in Kubernetes Prow. There's been a bunch of work around adding some plugins. So we've got Size working now, we've got Needs Rebase working, we've got LGTM and Approve working. What we haven't enabled is Tide. So for anyone that isn't familiar with it, Tide is the plugin that is responsible for automatically merging pull requests in most Kubernetes repositories. And essentially it acts as a bit of a merge queue where once a PR meets certain threshold, like having LGTM, having Approve, then Tide will essentially bundle groups of pull requests that meet that criteria, test them as one unit, and then if all is successful, it'll merge those pull requests. I think the rules are a little bit different for some repositories, but that's a sort of basic introduction to how it works. So I had a quick chat with Merrick in Salt Lake City about proposing we enable Tide. It would kind of be like the last big plugin to enable for etcd. Are we ready for it though? I think what we kind of need is a final step, is a bit of a summary in this issue with the implications and any gotchas. So we kind of need someone to look at the Tide plugin config and kind of confirm like, yes, this is what it's going to do. So it's going to check for this, and if this is the criteria, it will then merge the PR. Like, I think I have it pretty well understood, but we need to double check it. Like the risk is we enable the plugin and a bunch of like random PRs sitting in the etcd repo just get merged automatically for like somehow, like that would be a terrible outcome. So we need to make sure it is going to follow specific rules. Are there other CNCF projects using Tide? Yes, there are, but usually in their own Prow instances, if that makes sense. I think etcd is a little more unique in that we have just adopted Kubernetes Prow. I think Containerd uses some Kubernetes Prowl stuff. Yeah. What do we think, team? Are we ready?
Maybe we could just do a survey of what are the pending PRs that are already approved. Like, just
I
if
think,
there's any.
yeah, I think we can do a survey. So I think it's looking for LGTM or approved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
so,
it's
right.
the combination. Yeah.
Yeah, you need, in Kubernetes rules, you need both.
But I think it will be also great to hear from the community, like thumbs up if we're ready to apply it. Especially, I guess, from Marek and Benjamin.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Okay.
we need to warn people and give enough time for people to see the warning, because yeah, it does happen that if once we've got Tide running, if somebody puts an LGTM on there and they're a registered contributor, then it'll merge. If it came in already approved, and any PR created by one of our maintainers is already pre-approved, if you follow me. That is, when the PR is created, it already has the approved tag. So we want people to be prepared as, hey, if you put an LGTM on this, it's going to merge.
but is it
Yeah,
possible
it's a significant change.
is it possible to configure just the 2 approvals, maybe?
I don't know
Good
if
question.
we can
I'm
have.
not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we can have different rules from the rest of Kubernetes. That would be a question.
So I think maybe a good step as well would be to also discuss it at a community meeting. And we can do maybe raise a thread in the Slack as well. So some comms, see if anyone has any concerns, review the behavior for the Tide plugin as well, and just make sure our understanding is still valid and correct, like I think it is, but we'll just confirm. Yeah, okay. So if anyone is keen to, sorry, Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, so we'd actually probably do a little write-up, because there are some other things that change once you're using Tide. Like, you can't override merging on PRs that are failing tests anymore.
Yep. Okay. So next steps: discuss at a community meeting. Raise a SIG etcd Slack discussion. Add a detailed comment here with the behavior for Tide, just to confirm it matches what we expect. And then we could draft a pull request and with a /hold. Okay, so there's a few different things in here. If anyone would like to contribute towards this, we can kind of do them as separate things. For anyone that's at the next community meeting, feel free to add the agenda item. Actually, we can probably just add that now. Let's go here. Let's enabling.
I think we have Arca here, and he initially proposed it, so maybe he wants to take the lead on it.
Yeah, I can do that. So, like, I can come up with the right.
If you have the bandwidth, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like till next week, I will be a little bit occupied, but after that, I will have the bandwidth.
Okay.
Cool. We don't want to rush it, so that's all good. We'll take our time. We've got the agenda item for next community call. We can start a Slack discussion just to see if anyone has concerns. I think, yeah, Arca, if you have time to just erase the draft PR and just like leave it as work in progress with a hold on it or something. And then we can do a summary here again if you have time, just to add some commentary in here. It'd be really cool. Like, it would be a major workflow improvement for etcd if we get there. So let's keep chipping away at it.
Sure, definitely.
Cool. Okay, let's move on. We're going for time, another 15 minutes. So cool. Next one. So we've had this one open for a little bit, just working through what we needed to do for it. I think with the website, context, Markdown linting, both the etcd main repository and the etcd website repository have quite a number of Markdown files. We want to make sure that they follow the best practices in terms of how they're formatted and structured, with some basic linting checks. It's all pretty straightforward. Ivan has done some great work getting the website repository updated with like solid linting checks now for those Markdown files. What we wanted to do with this issue here was replicate the prow job from the website repo over to the main repo. Is it as simple as a copy and paste with a couple minor tweaks? Let's have a look.
I think the last time we discussed, we also mentioned to open it as a good first issue, we need more description.
Gotcha. We can write it up now
But
then.
there's definitely two parts of for this is the proud job and actually like the work in the etcd repository.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, the first step is to get the job, and then from there we can start making the improvements. Let's get it updated with this. So we put work into updating the website to put a Markdown linting workflow in place. Yes. So we're going to add a pre-submit for etcd to do the same. Okay. So we can just update that comment with a bit more context. So we need to copy this job.
I think it's like a good candidate for help wanted. I don't know if it will be good for good first issue because it's once we enable the linter, we will probably need to lint the files, which in theory, technically, it's just mechanical. But maybe it's
the other thing is we don't have that make recipe in etcd, so there's two sort of steps there. Okay, next steps. So we need to replicate. Let's have a look at that. Website. What was it called? Difflint. Okay, and it's a script. All right. Totals all the way down.
So the thing is that in the website, it's linting for just the difference.
Yes.
Do we want to keep the same behavior, like lint just the difference, or lint all like the whole file?
I would lean towards just string the diff.
I'm more like we should link the whole file, and then we could just. So the problem with the website is that changing all of the markdown files is it's a huge effort. In the etcd repository, there's just a handful of markdown files, but again, we need to ensure that they pass the linting. I don't know if we wanna discuss this further offline because it's taking a lot of time. I don't know, up to you.
So I think we might be underestimating how many markdown files are actually in the main etcd repo. There are quite a lot. They're just kind of dotted all over the place. So the diff might still be helpful to kind of cut it down, but I'm not opposed to enabling it for all if we think we can update them quickly. I mean, the first step. Let's just jump back to the issue, and so for a detailed next step.
There are 60 files.
Yeah, so there are a few. We need to replicate the script and make file recipe for Markdown linting from etcd.io website to the main repo. So the script is, let's have a look. This thing here, but it doesn't have to be doing diff. I just think it's like 60 is a lot to fix it once. And the makefile recipe is this one. Where is it? Difflint. Okay. Once that is done, we could create a new pro job. Okay. We have a clear description, then I think of the next step. So the next step would be a PR for the etcd repo. So it's not really a good first issue, but it's kind of like a help wanted. So if anyone does have time to raise a pull request for the main etcd repo and introduce the new makefile recipe with a replication of that script, that'd be helpful. Let's have a look at the next one. And I should mention for the folks that are new on the call, all you need to do is just leave a comment on the issue and just go, I'm happy to work on this, and we can assign you. All right, this one was a good first issue, I think, initially. I don't know, just how I wanted it. Okay, so we've been doing a lot of work recently on linters, on improving the basic code quality in the repository. This one's been open for a little while, and we've made some progress in API, but there's a number of other modules where we need to do a similar tidy up. So if we just have a quick look in API, wasn't too extreme. If you have a look through here, so I do think it is potentially good first issue material. So for anyone that's looking for a starting place on something to work on, have a quick look at this issue and feel free to pick up one of these other modules, and you can just leave a comment in here to let us know that you'll be working on it. Yeah. Okay, team, how are we going? So another 4 minutes. Let's maybe take one more bullet. Actually, I should ask, is there anything, any issues or PRs anyone would like to specifically raise in this last few minutes? No, all good. I'll continue. So there are a couple we can quickly close out, I think. Do we have Samuel on the call? No, but they've done some great work with a couple of website PRs recently, so I think we can close this one now. I'm sure that merged. Yes. Okay, and there was a second one that we could close on the website, I think. Yeah, I think this merged as well. Yeah. All right, there's a couple out of the queue. How are we going for time? A few minutes, so we'll just look at this last one for etcd main repo. All right, so we made some improvements earlier in the year around how we specify Go versions for the project. For a next step on this, I think we had a documentation update to do. Was that right, Ivan? Do you know the context on this?
I don't think we did it. So we don't, yeah, we don't have, I don't think we have the documentation on how to update the Go version.
Yeah, be in the contributor docs if we did. So docs, contributor guide, maybe dependency management. Let's have a look.
It's in dependency
Okay.
management. Yeah.
Okay, so it's an update to this segment, yeah, to talk about the fact that you can do a make fix now. Okay, yeah, so I think that's an update to these steps, right? So you still want folks to review the Go version notes. That's pretty standard. We're still going to be updating a GitHub issue or creating a GitHub issue. This step here, I think, is what we update. This is where we say complete the upgrade locally by editing the Go version file and running make fix, just so that it's clear, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's quickly note that. Discussed during SIG etcd triage meeting. For the next step, we just need to edit the following section of. We can just put in the example diff here. Where is it? The source. Okay, that's probably all it really needs to be. We can add a good first issue. On that, I think. Okay, team, so if anyone has time for a quick docs update, just to finish off this issue, that would be very much appreciated. With that, we are 1 minute over time, so I think we need to call it there. Thanks everyone for coming along. It was a great session. Hope to see you in the next one. Have a great weekend. We'll see you later.
Bye, likewise.
Thank you. Take care.